TI, sure.
Then it's not closed.
Well, no, NE's not closed.
Yeah, but TI
TI
is.
is closed.
Okay.
TI is still closed because you can NE about TI, but you're either NEFEing about TI or you're NETIing about TI, and either way, you go like,
And
look,
you
see,
can change TI.
I know, and look, and so you change the TI thing, the TI instantiation, and you go, see, and it's still in TI water.
Yeah, but how did it get in there? It's a closed space.
The TI is a closed frame. It's the farthest frame. It's the frame you can't get out of. You can get out of all of the frames by metacognition.
And what about the force slots? You're saying it's
Oh,
closed
well,
too?
okay. No, and okay, that's the thing. It's a closed frame in conjunction with SI. For me, or for you, it would be, it's a closed frame in conjunction with FE. You have to have the alternative for traumatized moments. So when Susie, if somehow Susie were stripped of all control in life, like she were to be kidnapped right now or something, if I were to go over there and kidnap her and I'd take off my mask, and it turns out that instead of me, I'm actually Adolf Hitler. I've been preserved cryogenically, and it feels good. Yeah, let's go to Berlin. And I handcuff her, I toss her in the back of a van, and we're driving around like this. She's rolling around. I'm hitting the wall, stop. And then what would happen is Susie would get schmoozy. She'd be like, hey, kidnapper, you are one special guy. I like you. Can we sit down and talk? Let's just talk for a bit. I am so demure. I love to defer to you. It is my nature. You got me. You found my core. I'm super deferential. I'm yours. I'm at your disposal. Please tell me how I can make you happy. And the kidnapper would be like, well, I really like that change of attitude. Undo the handcuffs and whatever. It's like, and then 6 hours later, he's really into Susie at this point. He's like, so anyway, that's when she left me, and I was just like, oh my god, that's the last straw. And then, boom, that fucking hammer, like the back end of a claw hammer, crashes through his skull right at that moment. Susie's back to TI again. Oops. Where did Effie go? Well, the problem's solved. She doesn't need to be an FE anymore. So I think that's how it would play out for you, right? You got two frames of reference. You're either pissed off at somebody for TI kidnapping you, trying to make you believe some bullshit, in which case you're throwing hammers left and right.
Yeah, what the fuck did I miss?
What?
I went to get pizza, and somehow I missed Susie killing someone with a claw hammer.
Right.
Well,
see.
But wait, what? Hold on, what?
It's how you transition back from FE to TI, Ken.
I thought I heard something about Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was Hitler, it turned out. I tricked her. I went to kidnap her. See, she let me in because she's like, oh my God, it's host Eric. And then when I got in, I took a mask off. Turns out I was Hitler. I'd been cryogenically preserved. I took Susie back to Berlin with me. But she schmoozed me into untying her and shit. And then I was starting to tell her about all my problems. And she was listening attentively. And then I looked away for a second and she hit me in the head with a claw hammer. The back end of it. That's what made it gruesome. And I was like, ow, my brain. And then I died. I spent so much having that cryogenically preserved, were my last words.
The point being...
Third function closed?
Yeah. So in a sense that you just transition from closed system of pretending to...
No, I'm saying that the closed frame has the alternative, which is dry dock. So you're in the water of TI all the time, unless you get a hole in the boat, in which case you pull it out of the water, and then the air is your fourth function, FE. For me, that's for Susie. For you, it would be you're in the water of NI, metaphysical epistemology, metaphysical knowledge, okay? And then when you get a hole in your boat, you go play football or something. Or you're like, fuck it, I'm going out and getting drunk and getting laid tonight. I've had enough of this truth shit. I'm going to go make some shit happen. I feel traumatized. I'm going to go fuck some people. I'm going to go play some football. I'm going to go push some people up against the wall and say, no, fuck you. I'm going to go get a badass car. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to be like, my car is more badass than you. This is when you're traumatized, Ken.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because that sounds like me.
When you're traumatized.
Right, yeah, so it sounds like me.
Ukraine Elaine, do you agree that that's what you do when you're traumatized? Do you go buy a badass muscle car and rev the engine?
No, more like I stuff myself with food or do something like that.
That's more SI.
Stuff myself with food, or I don't know, go shopping and spend money when I wasn't supposed to.
That's SE.
Yeah.
Things that I think are bad are SE.
How come is
SE.
how come is stuffing yourself with food a SI?
Because that's attending to your physical comfort of your body. And that's introverted sensing's physical aspect. So everyone has, each of these has a physical aspect and another physical aspect, but SI is a physical epistemology first and foremost. It's the way that we know things as concretely known that comes from physical realities, not metaphysical ones. So I know I opened this morning. I got out of the fridge and opened it this morning because I remember that happening in the physical world. I actually did it. I have mostly a two-element system of memory, a visual element and a narrative tag kind of an element where I can say, oh yeah, I got this out of the fridge this morning and opened it, refers to these things I did in the physical world, right?
I'm not sure. I think that would be like eating on time, or I don't know, timely remembering something to do on time. But if you just stuff yourself with food and, for instance, you're no longer hungry, but you keep pushing it, then that's a C, I guess.
No, I mean, I don't think it is, because I see SE as about action upon two or more physical objects outside of you, whereas SI includes, in most considerations, in most capacities, your interaction with the shit directly, you and the thing. Like this cigarette doesn't interact with the world in any other way except through me, right? It's once I bought this box of cigarettes, its entire existence was as a referent to me. And that's the case because it has no awareness and it's unable to observe its own existence. I can observe its existence, and nobody else in general is going to observe its existence at all, and therefore it's not real to anybody else, except insofar as I make it real like this. So this cigarette, its entire existence, once I got the pack of cigarettes, its reality, the reality of this cigarette, is comprised of my interactions with it. And now it moves to Oregon and it decides to take advantage of their euthanasia laws up there. You lived a long and happy life, cigarette. You were a star for a brief moment here. You had such humble ambitions when they put you in that pack back there at the Philip Morris factory. Your name was Stirred. Stirred was not a name you chose, not a name you would have asked for when you were just a Marlboro 57, short, awkward, and Stirred. The other cigarettes, they'd make fun of you, but you grew up king size. You grew into that name. You say, I'm Stirred, damn it. Well, Stirred, you ended up being the most famous cigarette in the whole pack. Congratulations.
I'm still trying to see the difference. Like, I don't know, if you engage in visual sex, for instance, like if it's a person, that's a C. If it's a doll, then that's That's terrible.
Sex is a double. Sex is a double. You get SI and SE, but you could do it in two different ways. Basically, if you have sex like, sort of block everything out and focus on how good your body feels, like ooh, the moisture feels really good, then that's SI. If you're like push me over and treat me like a slut, then that's SE or FE.
Have I left my
Or if
mic
you're-
on
if
certain nights?
Or if you're like, no, you just lie there and take it, homie. And he's like, all right. Slap him. And you're riding that cock. And you're like, fuck you, bitch. Slap his ass. That's SE. That's SEFE. Also, it's called being a psychopath. But I wouldn't imagine anybody ever actually doing that. But that's how I picture ESTPs during sex. They're like on top of some woman and like, man, yeah, fuck you, bitch. Come on your face, and you're like, can I call you? And he's like, yeah, I guess I might call you back. That's that's my caricature of SE males and females in general, and they're goddamn stupid going along with SE males shit and like liking it and then rewarding it. Fuckers. I'm at war with the ESPs. Yes?
Please tell us in greater detail how much you don't like SE.
Yes, I don't like it that much.
Mhm. I would say on the flip side, people who might have roll any or whatnot might see it as like people who are just sort of like, just sort of goofing around. And it's like, are you ever going to get fucking serious? No, you're just going to, no, you're going to keep playing. Okay. All right.
Which character voice would you like me to use in response, Ken?
None.
Yeah, I get that. I do understand that the other thing about SE is it does comprise the weak spots of an NE Dom for sort of constitutional reasons as well. It's like SE is follow through. It is the follow through upon that which has already been completed in its metaphysical aspect. And in my model, everybody has, for each of the aspects of each function, one that they view as the absolute value and one they view as the instrumental value. So for me, SE's metaphysical aspect is the absolute value, and the instrumental value is the physical aspect. But I find that the physical aspect of using SE well, in other words, successfully implementing the physical aspects of SE in order to attain the absolute value of the metaphysical aspects of SE, that runs afoul of other absolute values in the stack that I prioritize more highly, and that are rendered mutually exclusive with the SE values frequently enough that I tend to view SE as just persistently the loser in every single value conflict. And the thing is, it runs afoul of the absolute value of my meta frame, which is potentiality, because SE is following through on what's already been decided. That means no more talking about it, no more deciding about it, no more keeping it in conditionality land where time goes both directions and we can undo and try it the other way without ever having done anything. We're going to actually do it now, and then no more. We're going to collapse potentialities into realities. That is something that runs afoul of the absolute value of NE as my meta frame, which is metaphysical. The metaphysical aspect of NE as an absolute value, and the physical aspect of NE as instrumental at best and largely unvalued. It also works out that for me with NE, the physical aspect is more play and the metaphysical aspect is more purposeful. So when I'm really playing any physical aspect, what I'm doing is I'm walking around looking for cool little rocks and little pieces of metal in the alley and stuff. That's physical any, and then I'm thinking to myself stuff like, I go home and I know I'm going to put it in this little bottle that I have where I put my cool little things. And then I start thinking maybe like, oh, well, I should start thinking about maybe making layers of different kinds of cool little things in the bottle. Or I think maybe, oh, well, I could glue them together and then break the bottle and it would retain the shape of the bottle. That's me doing physical aspect any real time when I'm walking down the alley. It has abstract components to it, but it's physical in the sense that I'm playing, and it's not a big value at all, absolutely, that I retain those particular potentialities. In fact, that runs counter to the absolute value of retaining potentialities in general. And so that's why SE, it runs afoul fundamentally of my metaframe's absolute value, and thus it can't get along with me. I think the system's coming together in my head now. I didn't know any of this before we made this video, so it's good stuff.
I'm wondering.
Thanks for watching. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm wondering, like, if you take an example of a strategy, let's say it's a war, and you're just strategizing, so you're also implementing your strategy, and at the same time you're metacogniting about it. You know, what should be, like, what are the options here? So how would be SE related to this example?
That's an excellent question, and the answer is, as an ENTP, I'm fundamentally tactical, and I prioritize maintaining tactical flexibility over any strategic considerations always, because my absolute value of my metaframe is to maintain a potentiality-rich environment. And so this comes from talking with Kato. That's the link there to this Kato's video. So because that's my absolute value in maintaining potentialities, I'm a much better field general than I am a commander in an actual war. You wouldn't want me to be the commander because, well, I mean, you probably, I don't know. If it was actually an extended war, like we're gonna slog this out World War II style, you don't want me to be the commander. You want me to be a field general and give me lots of resources and lots of rope to play around. Now, it's because I like tactics. I don't like strategy because strategy renders things TE. TE cooperates a lot with SE insofar as TE says, here's a more efficient way to have a decided course of action that you SE follow through on. So when TE and SE get along well, then they make things that are both efficient and followed through on, and they're decided according to special interests. In other words, subjective interests. And that runs afoul of the NTP paradigm, which says, no, let's not decide conclusions on particular interests at all. Let's not collapse to causality, especially not according to special interests, because once you make things caused, then you can no longer make that, then they lose their relevancy as conclusions. So we might conclude to do something. It's relevancy that's a conclusion. It's very relevant that we've concluded to do that until we actually do it, at which point our conclusions about what we ought to do are irrelevant. It's no longer meaningful in the conditionality realm because it's actually happened. We can go back and say, well, if we had done it this way, blah, 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 but that's a waste of time. So, because of that, you've got SE that is following through on stuff that's been decided. In an ESTP, it's been decided on conditionality grounds, but because they're an SE DOM, conditionality itself floats in the water of following through on shit. So it's almost like they lock behind them what's supposed to be untethered time object referent points. So in other words, you're supposed to be able to move those around with TI. You're supposed to go like, well, this would be consistent with this other thing that I tentatively or I'm forgetting a word, but contingently or something have affirmed. So okay, I'm temporarily, for the time being, affirming this conclusion, and then I'm checking new shit out against these conclusions. Well, the problem with an ESTP, they're checking new shit out against conclusions that have been rendered caused. So they're no longer open to being moved back here. Things have to be consistent with what they've already done, not with what they've already concluded. Because I can change what I've already concluded, but I can't change what I've already done. And if I'm forcing TE to be subservient to a framework of that which has been done or that which has been decided, then I am
It's futile.
I'm a nightmarishly effective executor of stupidity. Of my own personal history of bad ideas. I'm excellently consistently executing my own pattern of bad ideas. It's terrible. That's why ESTPs suck ass. It seems to be a theme recently. We keep coming back to it. We do. You guys need to stop pushing me back to talking about these SE people and how much ESTPs suck ass. I'm trying to make friends with them. I'm trying to cozy up to them, but you guys loathe them so much that you just keep dragging the conversation back there. Anywho,
I have a secret agenda of finding out if I'm compatible.
what is your hidden agenda? Let's see. You are an INFJ, so your hidden agenda is to be healthy and to have a consistent identity over time, and to be sure that you know where your next everything is
That would
going.
be SI. You're talking about relative consistency.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, I'm sorry. You're right. You would be
TI.
Oh yeah,
TI.
TI hidden agenda. Oh yeah, that's why I like you guys so much. Because in the moment, because this is the thing, you are metaphysically, you have the metaphysical aspect of TI as the absolute value. You don't prioritize or value TI in the real-time application of it. In other words, you'll get fussy about bad FE, even if it's good TI, because you think, look, you can keep the good TI without adding all the shitty FE. So as a consequence, you don't really have a leg to stand on here to say that it's not appropriate for me to focus on the FE, because after all, you're not making your TI any more effective at all. Not that I care about effectiveness because I'm an INFJ, but still, what we do have to look at are two sets of data here. You can look at the consistency within the reasoning. You can look at consistency with perceptual concerns. Why not have both? You're such a smart guy. Why are you applying this intelligence in such an FE clumsy way when you're just not as the optimal Eric you could be if you just did the same TI shit with your schmoozy FE instead of with your bruising shitty FE, Eric? Then you'd really have something there. And I wouldn't sit here and silently think all this and not tell it to you. Right. That's why I love you guys. Because you do prioritize TI after you walk away from the conversation. What matters in the takeaway is not my bad FE for you. What matters in the takeaway is what it gives you for your hidden agenda. So just like me, what matters is not the bad FE in the moment. The fact that Mia is scowling at me is fine, as long as when they come back next time they think their takeaway was, wow, Eric is smart. Because I don't really care about being right, but I do care a lot about you guys thinking I'm super smart. That's why I do shit like this, so that you INFJs will be impressed with me.
Yep. That's how it works.
That is how it works. I'm an expert, everybody. You should buy my expert books.
No, it's okay. I'll spare myself bad TE decisions and instead just give you more FE. Oh, you're great, Eric. You're rich. You're the best. You're the greatest. I don't need to buy your book. You're already so great.
I was telling the viewing audience. I ended it, by the way, right after I said, like, I'm an expert. You should buy my book or something. I ended it right there. That's a good video. That was a
That's a long video.
wow. It's packed full of insight, Susie.
Okay.
Insight is space intensive. Insight is like the fleshy meat of the penis. It expands when engorged with blood.
So
Too
fleshy
far.
or bloody. What?
That's what makes penises grow is blood. They fill with blood. That's why they call the penis your own personal vampire.
I was literally about to say they're like bulimic vampires.
You're right. That's much better than what I said. Oh, Ken, I'm sorry I didn't give you the space to say that. That would have been preferable.
Well, I was working on the bulimic bit because I was trying to think if it worked.
It's perfect.
There you go.
That's a good joke for a comedy. Did I tell you I'm trying to think about I want to do a stand-up comedy routine? I have to put together which jokes I'm going to tell. That'd be a good joke. Maybe I'll steal your joke and say, a penis only feels truly alive when engorged with human blood. However, it's short-lived. And then everyone will say, well, what's the punchline, Eric? I'll go, I'm not sure. I'm still rolling it around in my head. But it might be something about a bulimic vampire.
I love how in your mind the audience just is sitting there and they go, well, what's the punchline, Eric? Like, we're just like, I like how your idea of an audience is basically us.
My idea of an audience is the audience that I make up in my head that responds just right when I want them to with exactly the right thing. And then instead of actually trying to find such an audience or anything like that, I just make another layer of narrative so that I can just have that audience respond to me like I just did. Yeah. That's what happens. I gotta go do shit. I got a lot of shit to do today. I can't be. Yeah,
Go forth, young child, and use SE.
I don't wanna.
Go out there and conquer and like take over shit and be like, yeah.
Okay. Hi. I'm Eric. I'm here to take over.
Convince him.
Take over what?
Well, it would depend who I'm talking to. Like, let's say I go to the neighbor's house. Let's say I'm here to take over your house and your lives.
SE's like, I'm here to take over. Take over what?
Everything except for the boring shit. I don't want to take that over.
True that.
So basically, you want to survive SE, just be boring as shit. Unless they have a tank, in which case they might just kill you anyway.
So this video is about 44 minutes. Of rock hard gold bricks.
Is that the title?
Yeah. 44 minutes of riding rock hard gold bricks.
That's excellent.
I'm going to change it to Mins, M-I-N-S.
Who's the Blinky member?
Someone with a crown. It could be Kit Kat.
Is it Kit Kat? Yes, no, maybe so. I don't know.
Eric Thor is also Blanky Crown.
Really?
Or it could just be a bugged out picture.
Maybe. Eric Thor. I like to sit in on videos, but I don't want to be known as being around here. I imagine that might be a thought goes through his head. I can't show up here. It's going to bring down my subscriptions.
Do you want to be known to be around here?
Well, you see, I got in before I could start caring about things like my image. So it was already too late.
Now?
Nah, I'm already tainted. MVTV still has that Enneagram 6 video up, back from when I thought I was an Enneagram 6, and it's my face on the dude wearing the tinfoil suit. So,
What?
yeah, MVTV, they did a Enneagram 6 video that traded. And so in the thumbnail, it's a dude wearing a tinfoil suit, and they photoshopped my face over the top.
That's cute.
Yeah.
What's going on there? I just saw some whiny videos. I haven't actually bothered watching them. Just
Whiny videos.
Yeah.
I like how she describes like him sharing like insights and feelings. Like, I saw some whiny videos.
I just saw it looked serious from the title, which I don't even remember, and I listened to a few seconds of it, and it was like, okay, kind of whiny. Something's going down.
I can't be known to be around here. It'll bring down the value of my own product.
Value of your own product.
Yeah, bringing it down right now. I'm bringing down the value of my own product by being around here. Just like Eric Thor. It's probably true, what I've just said. It's probably true that if I wanted to maximize my value, I would give regular, limited access points. Try to be a mystery.
Would
I'm
you be
mysterious.
able to keep up with the times? I mean, meet up in time?
Meet up in time? What do you mean by
Yeah,
meet?
I saw a message on the Facebook thing. You were supposed to meet some guy yesterday.
Was I? Who?
Some Russian guy?
Oh yeah, that guy. I forgot all about that. Well, I don't know. He had my phone number. Why didn't he call me? You know?
I don't know. He sent a new message. I saw
You
it
gotta
today.
chase me down a little bit. I'm not avoiding. I just don't care that much. Is that reassuring to somebody? Can I say that to them, or do they not like it? That's not a good thing.
That's not a good thing.
It's sincere, but some people want to be lied to.
At least it's honest.
Well, I might care if I show up and I hang out with him and I like him a lot. Then I'd care, of course. Then I'd say, like, see, that I did care about it. Turned out I did care about that. That's the problem with FI. How do you know what you care about until you experience it?
I agree.
Like, for me, FI, the physical aspect of FI is definitely the absolute value. And the metaphysical aspect of FI is the instrumental thing, which means the thing that should be way more important, like the preservation of relationships abstractly, doesn't mean anything at all to me, except through the checking of, do I feel it? You know, check for hit you over the head with a sledgehammer at sadness. Is that there? Oh, that is there. I wonder how long that's been there for. How long has that been hitting me over the head with a sledgehammer? Check for that. If it's there, then that means bad. If you don't feel anything, well, that's normal. So, okay, fine. Then go ahead with your logical calculus. If you do feel something, I know what it feels like now. I've learned to recognize it. It's that thing in your chest. That's love or something equivalent. And it'll go away. Just enjoy it if you like it. Or if it's kind of uncomfortable, just be like, it'll make you fret a little bit. But if you're with your dual, her nature defretifies you. Like, you kind of are like, I love you. And just chill out, Eric. Okay. And it kind of goes away a little bit. And you go, okay, what was I doing? Fuck those things. What?
Kinda goes away a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it stops insisting on your attention. That's the problem with love. Is it's a good feeling, I guess. It's kind of, I mean, it's pretty good. It's kind of a little like, there's a little anxiety to it. But
Oh, he froze.
Yeah, he lagged out. For me at least. Do you see him?
The love got too strong. The internet was like, Eric, calm down.
Eric found love. And that happened.
Yep.
Maybe his minutes are over. Oh.
How's the day going? Night going? Yeah, it's nighttime for you. Both, right?
Yeah, it's like 10.
11 for me. Going good. When we were talking about the ESTPs, something like I have the vivid character from the Wolf of the Wall Street in mind.
Which one? The main character or?
The main character, yeah. Well, probably most of the people there are ESTPs.
I don't know what Matthew McConaughey's character was. The dude in the beginning who's like,
Yeah, probably the same. I think McConaughey's primarily playing ESTPs.
All right.
So, Ken, what do you think of them? Like, do you know a lot in your personal life?
No, I'm a bit more lacking. I've primarily, not entirely, but for larger part, spent the last several years inside, and you don't meet ASTPs there. So, have less experience with them, whereas ENTPs fucking just buzzing around. Yeah.
I'm trying to grasp this duality thing, and just all the ESTPs that I know, they're really annoying to me, kind of. Like, I feel that strength, something that I can acknowledge, but, you know, they see things, but it's annoying, really.
Yeah, I know that there's aspects that, like, we gotta, as INFJs develop, that we gotta bring out of ourselves and cultivate and bring to the world. Unfortunately for ESTPs, I think that's depth that they need to cultivate and bring out into the world. So, like, what's up, bro? What's up? Just doing a lot of crazy shit, and then it's like, you know, they might get into their 30s and they're like, man, I've been thinking about some shit, man. I don't know. You're just like, yes, good job. You're like, finally, we can use this one.
Why are you saying you haven't been outside for a few years?
Well, it's not that severe. However, I haven't gone out and like socialized with people too much.
Why not?
I think primarily I lacked confidence. I didn't really know how to get out and meet. Well, I mean, I knew how to meet people, but I didn't really pursue it. It was just sort of closed off.
So what are you doing?
What am I doing now?
No, just in general. Like, why? What makes you stuck? If you are stuck.
Quite frankly, just a lack of experience. I think what it was, I had sort of internal messages that I believed earlier in life when I had the least amount of experience. So those sort of stuck and were in some ways hard to shake. However, I mean, I think I'm still struggling with them, but they don't seem as strong as they used to be. So yeah.
So is it somehow related to, just finding a reason to talk to people, or not being able to build a connection, or what?
I think fear of rejection was definitely part of it. I had anxiety about being like socially ridiculed or stuff like that. It's one thing this place has helped with a little bit is that for the most part, people seem to enjoy having me around, which I appreciate. Yeah.
They unplugged the internet.
That sucks.
So what is
The cats?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ken. I will give the floor right back to you. Colin's moving out. Colin and Parker are moving to their new place, and they were unplugging their computer and shit, and they unplugged the internet. I wish I had never even mentioned it, but I did, and that's clarification. Ken, resume.
I was asking Alina what her sociability was like.
At which point?
Now you can say what it's been like in the past.
It has been awkward. I was telling you that I was more social before I was 20, probably.
Mhm. Yeah.
And since then, I'm probably became a hermit. Like, I talk to people, but mostly, I'm not sure if that's something it's not necessarily just my brain related, but it's just different periods and fluctuations of this, I don't know, hormones or whatever. And I often just, I talk to people, but I fail to have a connection with them. So it's like I try to engage with them, but then it's like, what's the point?
As TE polar people, do you guys, when you're engaging socially with others, INFJs, do you have a conscious absolute value of like, well, this is purposed in some sense, like there's a goal here in a social interaction, and it is to maintain perceptions of me or make the other person happy, or do you just see it as not goal specific?
I think I see a goal as generally expanding my understanding of things. So when people give me some details, and be it problem or something about their personal life, it just gives me more information about how to expand things and more food for thought.
So your goal in the social interactions is the other person's goal.
Well,
like, let's say my goal is to understand INFJs more clearly by having this conversation with you. Now, are you going to feel as though it was a good conversation that attained goal, or that you accomplished what you wanted to if you walk away from this feeling like I understand INFJs better for having talked to you about this?
Kind of like this, yeah. I think I'm happy. It's more of a general goal. Like I appreciate insights. So if I'm not connecting the dots, then someone else does it for me. So whenever somebody either gives me information or gives me this insight, I feel this has been fruitful.
Now, my goal in contrast with you, Ken, is my goal is for us in this conversation, usually with Ken thinking that I'm funny. So, Ken, is it then your goal to make me think that you think I'm funny? And if you do that, then you've attained your accomplished goal in this conversation?
What's the question to me now?
Yes.
Well, I'm feeling on the spot there, Eric.
I think it's a good question, though, right? Like,
Yeah.
my goal, it was different with the two INFJs here. Ukraine Elaine doesn't laugh at my jokes very much. So I've had to put her in a different Effie juice compartment. She's not gonna be a joke laugher, she's gonna be a think I'm smart. Now, Ken, you like my jokes, you think I'm funny, or at least you've done an excellent job of convincing me of that fact, which means I'm meeting my goal. Does that make you feel as though you've accomplished what you tried to accomplish here in this conversation?
I probably need to pan out from this individual instance to get a better view of that, because I know there's some ways that
NI ha-cha-cha is what this is called.
what
NI
the fuck do you want me to say, man? I mean, I'm doing the NI thing.
You're doing the NI ha-cha-cha, which is what NI DOMs do. Instead of saying, I need to think about that, my NI will take a while with it. They go, ha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha.
Because if I say
Go
I
down.
need to think about it, if I say that, then
That's got FE consequences.
well, no. Here's the thing. No, if I say that, then you might say okay, and then move on to a new topic. If I ha-cha-cha for long enough, I might be able to keep it stuck on that topic until I'm up to speed, and then I can comment, and we can continue on that same thing.
Also, if you say, I need to think about it, I might think, why? Is something wrong? Why would you tell me? What's the answer? Why would you answer me? You don't want to risk that. But I'm sure you'd be very reassuring if I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this can be both goals, really. Like what you're saying, like to be appreciated too, or like to be liked. That's that's kind of not maybe the ultimate goal, but it's nice.
Well, here's the thing. People talk a lot about a goal of helping others, and I've concluded that cat is just insane. I've concluded that helping others means you have to understand what it means to value something. So I can intellectually get the fact that Ukraine Elaine or Dayton Ken, I'm dating Ken. I'm dating Dayton Ken is what your next significant other should say, Ken. Anyway, the fact that Ukraine Elaine might walk away from this conversation feeling as though she understands some aspect of something more clearly, I can understand how that might be valued, how that's a good thing, or that it's better than the alternative. But I don't really get what it feels like to actually value that directly with FI, which is how we value things directly. It's like Kato was saying, I do get what I don't like. I don't really get what I do like. And so as a consequence, when I think about helping other people, I think, well, that's not something you can measure. Whereas I can measure whether you think I'm cool somehow, because that's subjective, the right kind of subjective, whereas the other one's the wrong kind of subjective. It's me being subjective about you is wrong. Did I help you or not? Me being subjective about your feelings about me, that's safe, because if I am wrong, I'm not imposing any ontological states upon you.
When you're helping someone, a possible way to understand if it's valid just to get feedback. I mean, when the person actually said, "Oh, you helped me. Thank you. You're marvelous."
I do appreciate some. I can think of instances when I've been very appreciative of somebody helping me. So I know it's possible, but that doesn't persist for me. I don't do well with FI persistence. That is to say, time objects of FI that are relevant over time and that mean things.
Are you saying that, in a sense, that doesn't motivate you or to help this person?
Well, I don't understand. It's like, for example, put it this way: if somebody's raining and they look like they're tired of getting wet, and I have an extra umbrella, I understand how giving that to them solves their problem. Okay, but for me, it's like I'm wetness blind. Call it wetness blind, right? So I note that it's raining because I see everybody has water on them, or what appears to be water. I can tell water's there because it diffracts the light in a certain way. But when I touch it, it just feels like air. Okay, I'm wetness blind. So I know it's raining, and I learned early on that periodically everybody acts like it's raining. And I so when, oh yeah, and I learned the signs. There's great clouds. Okay, yeah. Oh, you got your umbrella. Okay, it's raining. It's raining. And in fact, I learned to say things like, "Phew, I am so wet." It sure is frustrating coming in and out of the rain because I'm so wet, because that's what everybody does, right? And so then here's the thing: I do get that you value an umbrella because I've learned that everybody does this rain thing. What I don't get is that like when I encounter you next time, that you'll still have that umbrella because you're anticipating it's going to rain again, and you actually care about whether you get wet. I'm wetness blind, so I'm constantly forgetting that to other people it's a real thing. It's not just a ritual that we go through to have. Let's pretend it's raining time again. That we've learned all through. Oh, well, what I've learned. And I've internalized it so much before I start metacogniting about it that I believe it to be the case, is that I'm getting wet, and that it's bothering me that I'm wet, and blah, 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 blah. Whereas in most of those kind of circumstances where that's just being displayed, it's just an FETI facsimile of it that it mistakes itself for a real thing. Because people are so concerned about the weather all the time. It's such a massive part of our culture. It's like, imagine we live in Seattle or something, and it's everywhere you go, there's billboards for raincoats, and there's a sale on galoshes, and then there's announcements. Don't forget the rain's coming again, and it's like you're constantly being reminded of rain. So you really begin to wear and become the no clothes of the emperor, who's required to be in this what he perceives as a nudist colony, really, but everybody else is absolutely perceiving it as a clothes. Everyone's wearing clothes, and so eventually the emperor starts to believe his own nudity actually is a set of clothes that's really there, that he just can't see or feel because there's something wrong with his fingers and his eyes.
Huh?
It's a little bit of an analogical stretch, okay?
You lost me
Makes
there
sense
near
to
the
me.
end. But
Audra, we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can.
Okay, yeah. I was just saying it made sense to me.
Thank you, Audra.
you just lost me with the emperor bit there at the end.
That's like the
No,
other
that just like nailed it down. Like that was perfect.
flip side of it, right? In the rains example, we're the one who doesn't get that those things are actually closed. In the other example, everyone else doesn't get that those things aren't actually closed. I like the second example better. That's why the one Audra understands.
So I feel like being Effie creative in some way, I have some sort of a weird relationship with the rain, but it seems like how you deal with the moisture blind is you just put a lot more emphasis into thanking them for the umbrella.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, I see INFJ goes like this. They totally do get wet, and they understand what the water is, and they understand the rain is a real thing and everything. But they're going like, Jesus Christ, why is everybody so obsessed with the rain all the time? It doesn't really matter. Whereas I so don't get why everyone's obsessed with it that I'm like, yeah, I'm obsessed with the rain too. Right? This is how you get it. Yeah, I'm so wet. Give me a towel, somebody. So INFJ
I was thinking that INFJ would feel wet even though they're still in the house.
You mean it rains inside the house if you're an INFJ?
No, it's like they're safe in the house, but they still feel wet.
Well, I think they make note of everybody. It's like the one area where their TE is strong is they're very aware of how other people are not adequately encumbering themselves with raincoats, umbrellas, closed walking structures to keep the rain away from them, et cetera, and how lots of times, Eric, I know you don't know that people don't like getting wet, you don't really get what water is, but when you walk with your legs kicking in the gutter and the water's splashing all over everybody, they're getting wet and they don't like that. What do you mean they're getting? Oh, that's right. Oh, is it raining again? Bad. Oh, that's right. Oops. Did I kick some water on you? I am so sorry. I feel so bad. Is he dry yet? Oh, he is dry. Okay, good. Yeah, so anyway, fuck off. I don't care about you getting you know. Oh, now he's wet again? I do not understand this rain shit. How can he was wet, he's dry, he's wet again. He fucking spray some Scotch Guard on him, for God's sake. I like explaining things with dramatic display of the wetness that I don't get, right? So for me, when I come to the party, I've got buckets of water with me. It's fake water, but it's very convincing. And so I'm like, I'm here. Oh, yes. Let me spray some mist in the air as I'm talking. Oh my God, I'm outraged by that. See, I know what water is. Look at a cloud of mist. Yeah, I could be a bit hyperbolic. Are we recording a video?
I don't fucking
I don't
know.
think. You can check. I don't think you
No,
started.
we're not. We're not recording one.
You
we should
just
start-
sounded like that for a bit.
Right. Well,
Eric was presenting and assumed he must be rolling the camera because he's like, that was pretty good. I must have been.
I've totally blurred the line between on and off. It's basically gone now. In most interactions in my life, being on and being off, there's no difference anymore.
Everything is a performance.
Well, I've gotten accustomed to being real-time aware of FE considerations occasionally, intermittently, like for a stretch, like right now. But what that does is way more